Welcome to our session on how to properly use Nison Candle Scanning software. My name is Paul. I am the president of CandleCharts. Joining me is Steve Nison. He is the CEO and founder of CandleCharts.com. So we are here tonight, whether you're watching live or recording, to talk about Nison Candle Scanner software, specifically on the NinjaTrader platform. So the format of today's session will be Steve is going to talk you through the major components of what Nison Candle Scanner can do, a little bit about why it was created and things like that. And then I'm actually going to show you the software itself. I'm going to show you the resources that you get when you do purchase or you own the software. And then we're going to provide you with the information if you don't own the software already, how you can purchase it and how you can take advantage of all the bonuses that come with it. So I'm very happy that Steve created the Nison Candle Scanner software years ago. I've been using it myself for a long time. I use it in stocks and ETFs and Forex and multiple markets. And I know that we have people around the world that are using the software as well. So you're here to listen to Steve talk about the software, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about what it can do and just how exciting the software really can be for you in your trading and investing. So Steve, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Paul. And let me start with, as usual, well, here's a little background. I'm sure many of you are familiar with my work. It's been decades since I revealed candlesticks to the Western world. And when I meet people and they ask what I do, I say, you ever see charts of the market with those little rectangles? And they go, yeah. And I say, that's because of me. So anyway, I was very first to reveal candlesticks to the Western world, and I'm really thrilled to continue giving education to traders and investors such as yourself to get the best out of using candlesticks correctly. And I underscore the word correctly because there's a lot of information out there, and a lot of it is really very dangerously wrong. So our goal at CandleCharts.com is not only having you understand the basics and more advanced aspects of candles, but how to use them correctly. But before we continue, we always have our risk disclosure, and just want you to focus on the top part of this, to remind you that there's always a risk of loss of trading in any market and any time frame. So I'll spend just a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so, on the essentials of Nison Candle Scanner before Paul gives you some insights. But the Nison Candle Scanner, the goal is to make it fast and easy to find the best trade or investment candidates. Paul had mentioned that, I think he said he thanked me for doing this. I really did this for myself. I would spend hours trying to find the best trades, and I'm familiar with the candles. But I designed this working with some programmers in Israel, using my insights. I mean, there's other candle scanning software out there, I'm sure, but this is the only one personally designed by me because everybody who uses candles really uses my information as the source. I got a nice quote, or we got a nice quote years ago. Everybody quotes the master. Why not go to the master? So what we're going to be doing here is telling you about the Nison Candle Scanner, and Paul will be going into more detail about this part about NinjaTrader. But Nison Candle Scanner, which I'm going to abbreviate as NCS, is designed to work on a few platforms, including the NinjaTrader, and that's going to be the focus here. And Paul had mentioned that you could trade, I believe he said you could trade any markets, but these are some of the markets you could trade using Nison Candle Scanner. And it's not only for the US markets, it's whatever NinjaTrader can get in your country. We have students from 85 countries. So again, Paul will go into more detail about this, and Paul will be staying around for any specific questions. But my goal here is to give you the three main tools of NCS. Okay, first of all, highlighting. And what you're going to do is, I have 28 candle signals, and you have the ability to highlight any of them. I'll show you an example of what the candle signals look like, how to pick them. But with just a click of the mouse, you can instantly have all the candle patterns right on your chart. It doesn't matter what chart it is. It's a great learning tool. Also, it helps you avoid bad trades by making sure you understand the candlestick signal correctly. So many of you may be familiar with a shooting star. If you're not, And this is what NCS looks like. You can abbreviate it. So, sometimes if you have a lot of candle signals, if you have the whole name, it gets a little it gets overlapping. So you can abbreviate the symbols. Here, I just have the full name. So here we have a shooting star, and just to remind you, that's a long candle with a very long upper shadow, a small real body at the bottom end of the trading range. All right. So this is a shooting star, potentially a bearish signal. Very often it's used as resistance. You could use it as resistance. Now, notice something here. Look at 2. It's the same shape. Now, a shooting star could be a black, or depending on your charting system, red, or green, or again, depending on your charting system, white real body. Isn't this the same shape as this? But why doesn't NCS pick this up as a shooting star? Because the trend is wrong. Part of the criteria, a major criterion that many traders and investors forget about, is we need a trend to reverse. A shooting star has to come after an uptrend, and we have proprietary ways of measuring trend. So this comes after an uptrend. Did this come after an uptrend? No, came after a downtrend. So people who just look at the candlestick line and say to themselves, hey, this is a shooting star, maybe they would have sold here, and look what would have happened right over here. So there's a great learning tool to make sure you understand the signals correctly, and a great way to avoid potentially bad trades. Okay, so highlighting, again, you pull up any chart you want, you just pull up Nison Candle Scanner, highlight all of the candlestick signals. Or if you're only looking for shooting stars, you highlight shooting star. Okay, now, opportunity alerts. This is the second tool. What you could do is, and this is great for intraday traders, these are the candlestick signals. You could highlight some of these signals, any and all of them, and these are just some of them. So we have the bull signals and the bear signals, and there's actually some neutral signals like doji and high wave candles. So you could pick any and all of the candlestick signals. Let's say you have a 60-minute chart up. So then what you could do is you set up an alert, and there's lots of different ways to be alerted, a sound alert, other things. I believe also with your phone, and Paul will correct me on this if I'm wrong, I think you can get a text alert. And then what you do is you choose the markets that you're interested in. So say you're following Disney, you could have Disney running in the background, and these are markets running in the background on NinjaTrader. So just to clarify, NinjaTrader is the main platform that you use, and Nison Candle Scanner is the installed software that you will, installing it is not a problem. You just click on a link or two, and it's installed automatically on Ninja. So you have this running in the background of NinjaTrader. Maybe you have, like here I have a list of maybe 12 or 13 markets I've been following a little while ago. This could be a 10-minute chart in Caterpillar. This could be a 30-minute chart in Disney and GE. You have these, you pick the markets you want to have alerts on, and any of these markets that have any of the signals that you have highlighted. So for example, I have bullish engulfing pattern highlighted, rising window. Anytime, let's say you have a 10-minute chart, at the end of the 10-minute period, if you have one of these candlestick signals, you're going to get an alert. All right. And what that lets you do is then you could consider if you're going to put a trade on, and you'll be alerted what market it is. So you go to the chart and you could see that signal. Now, how many hours does it take you to find a great trade setup? Like I said, the reason I did this is because it would take me, I was pretty good. It took me maybe an hour to find a setup, but many people will take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And the real challenge is we need 3 aspects before successfully trading. Well, some of the aspects we need to successfully trade. We need to filter out the markets. We need to know when to buy, when to sell, but also which markets. There are thousands of markets out there. How can we find the best trade candidates? And that's the main focus of Nison Candle Scanner. All right, so we looked at highlighting, the real-time alerts. This is why we call it Nison Candle Scanner. And I'm not sure what that's about. You can ignore that up there. What you could do is scan through a universe of markets within minutes, or depending on how fast your computer is, and pick out all the markets that have specific candlestick lines. So let me just briefly show you what I mean. So let's say you pick, bullish engulfing patterns. You want to find all the markets with a bullish engulfing pattern. You could have your own watch list. So for example, I had a watch list called Current Monitor. So there were stocks and Forex markets I was looking at. But let's say you want to just do the S&P 500. So this is within NinjaTrader. All right. You add whichever one you want. These are all pre-made in NinjaTrader. Let's say you want the S&P 500. What's going to happen is that Nison Candle Scanner will scan through the S&P 500, or you do the Dow, whatever you want, and automatically find the markets, in this case with bullish engulfing patterns. So now you have these markets, and then what you do is you can click on this. This is what the alert will look like, or the list. You click on it, and like here, for example, you see Microsoft, and this will give you the potential trade setups. It's not going to tell you which trade to do. For example, one of the things I will look at is when I'm using this, I'll look at each of these and see if the candle signal that I'm looking for, let's say a bullish engulfing pattern, confirms a Western signal. And then after that, if there's a good risk reward. And by the way, there's tons of resources when you invest in NCS that shows you how I personally use NCS, how you could use it to, one, not only find the signal within NCS, but how to trade potentially profitably with it. So here we had a bullish engulfing pattern plus E. Remember I said one of the things you could do is instead of, if you want the whole name, you could have as an abbreviation, plus E. Now there's a blue up arrow. Doesn't mean you buy. Okay, blue up doesn't mean buy. It just means a potentially bullish signal. So here, for example, I don't have the whole chart up, but it was confirming a support area. So I would look at this and look at the risk reward. And if it was a good risk reward and it's confirming a Western signal, I would really think about doing the trade. So this will literally save you hours and hours each and every day. And lost time is never found, because how else can you find potential trade candidates? Most of us maybe previously looked at 5 or 10 markets, but now you have the universe of potential markets. Now, here, for example, and this is how I use it. Visually looking at a chart, we could see there's a big rising window. A rising window is a potential support area, right? So you see something like this. Okay, here you got the up arrow. But a lot of times when I'm looking through a lot of charts, I might miss a tiny window. Is this a window or not? What you'd have to do is you have to look at the high here and the low here. But all I do is put on NCS, I highlight windows, and boom, this is here. So this gave me a signal to potentially buy that I may have missed. Okay. Now with NinjaTrader, you do not have to execute your trades there. Very important. So one of the common questions, in fact, most of the traders and investors we work with don't trade through Ninja. I mean, Ninja's a great platform. It's great to trade through, but you may be comfortable trading somewhere else. So what if you have a brokerage account where you execute your trades? Can I still use Nison Candle Scanner on the NinjaTrader platform? Of course. So what you could do in one window, okay, now my feeling is if you're trading, you should have at least 2 screens. But so I'm going to focus on 2 screens here. But if you do one screen, you could just split it in half. Okay, half the screen is your trading platform, and the other half of the screen is Ninja. By the way, for those who don't know a shortcut, a little bonus, what you could do if you want to split a screen in half and you're using Windows, use the Windows key and the left arrow, and that'll automatically make that on the left-hand side of the screen, and whatever other software you have open, if you want to make it on the right hand of the screen, you just highlight it, hit the Windows key and the right arrow, and it'll automatically be on the right side. I don't normally need to do that because I have a couple of screens. So anyway, so on one screen, you have your trading platform. The other one, you have Ninja. You get a signal, you go right to your trading platform. And Paul mentioned that most of our traders who use it actually do it this way. Right? One of our many, many success stories. My first 2 trades were good enough to pay for the lifetime ownership of the software. And the best part and this is important, was that the two trades went stocks that I never would have traded before. Of course, because how can you find the best potential trade candidates on a universal stocks? And that's what NCS will help you narrow down. So let me show you a case in point here. So here's NCS, bullish engulfing pattern. Now we know, or for those who have our education know, many candle signals can be used as support or resistance. So we have a bullish engulfing pattern. It's fine to buy here. There's a nice risk reward. You buy it here. Your stop is under the low here. My target would be here, all right? Well, let's say for whatever reason, you don't buy it on that session. What you could do is set up a potential support area and look what's confirming support here. So you can think about buying it here. If you miss this buying opportunity because it's confirming a support area, we had another bullish engulfing pattern. And see, this is a green wrapping around the doji. Many traders don't, many candlestick traders who don't have our education or NCS don't know that even if a green real body or white real body wraps around a doji, it's still a bullish engulfing pattern. It doesn't have to be a red real body. So here's a bullish engulfing pattern right near that major support area. So this is a very easy example, or a concrete example of how easy it is to use NCS. Okay, now notice here, I highlighted here. Now, this is a bullish engulfing pattern. How come you didn't buy in this bullish engulfing pattern? Isn't it a green wrapping around the red? Once again, a great example of how you save money with NCS. It doesn't say bullish engulfing pattern on NCS, right? So you say to yourself, why isn't it a bullish engulfing pattern? Because why isn't Nison Candle Scanner? Why isn't Steve Nissen saying there's a bullish engulfing pattern? The trend is wrong. This is an uptrend. This is a downtrend. So can you imagine traders who are only familiar with green wrapping around red, thinking it's a bullish engulfing pattern, buying it here, and then coming down here? One of my old jokes was, is this a good buy or is it goodbye? So again, not letting you know only what trades to get into, what to avoid. Look how much money this would have saved you. And again, it doesn't matter, this happens to be Tesla. It doesn't matter what market it is or what time frame. So, and Paul's going to go over into detail with this. Different options. Okay, if you did the monthly, I'm just going to go this real quick because Paul is going to take over in a minute or two. But if you do get a monthly, you get full credit here. And we're going to offer only for a couple of days. If you put in the code April, okay, over here, okay, you're going to get special bonus pricing. Okay, Paul will mention that in a little bit. And bonuses, not only will you begin the special price, but you're also going to get all these bonuses. And once again, these are coming off after the sales price comes off. Normally, we only include NCS Pro. Normally, we only include NCS. And we have an extra module that's already included with this special offer. You don't have to do anything special. It's going to automatically be NCS Pro. What it's going to let you do is use these modules at no extra cost. Okay, we're going to give you a best practice video. I alluded to this before, how I use NCS to set up my own trades. You're going to get a candle video, a quick reference video. Many of you may not remember what a bull separating line is or a bear sash pattern. You're going to have all the patterns that are in NCS in a video, a very short video, refreshing your memory. We're giving you our favorite trade setups, Paul's bouncing ball, my blast off, and power window trade strategies you can apply. And you're going to have an exclusive invitation to what we're calling the idea session. It's going to be April 19th, 8 p.m. So it's next week. It's also going to be recorded in case you can't attend. But essentially, the idea session is designed to give you ideas that you can apply immediately on how to use scanning and alerts to quickly maximize what NCS could do. And the value is actually multiple times of what the investment is within NCS. So here is all the information. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul. Once again, this was a very brief overview. It's really powerful, but the videos you're going to be getting will take you step by step on how to use NCS. It's really, really simple. And we designed it that way so you can apply it right after you download it within an hour or two. Okay, Paul, over to you.
Thank you, Steve. I just want to make sure that you can now see my screen. All right, I believe you can. So, excuse me. My goal here is to show you just a few examples of what Nison Candle Scanner looks like, what it can do. Now that Steve has already gone through it with you, I just want to kind of show it to you, and then go over the resources that you get when you actually do purchase it, or if you already do own it, where you can go to make sure you have all the information needed for installation, the best practice video, where your license key is so that you can actually do the installation process. And then talk to you and answer any questions. So while Steve was talking, we did get a bunch of people typing in questions. If you have a question specific to your account, or you're having any questions about your specific setup, just shoot me an email directly, paul@candlecharts.com. I'd be happy to help you out. If you have a general question now, I'd be happy to answer that here as well. So on your screen right now, you see a chart of the euro dollar. I know we had a couple people before type in that they actually trade the euro dollar. So this right here is the euro dollar. I'm just going to put on my red spotlight. Up here in the upper left, you'll see that I can change the symbol to pretty much anything I want. I can change the time frame. And then up here we have a bunch of icons, drawing tools. I could change settings of the chart. I could add indicators. I can add market analyzers to do the scanning. I could set up alerts. I can do all kinds of things. Okay, but realistically, this is a charting platform. When you purchase the Nison Candle Scanner, we give you the NinjaTrader platform. We give you all of the steps on how to download and install. Okay, so it's really simple. If you're used to any kind of charting platform whatsoever, this becomes very easy to use. Now, NinjaTrader has a lot of other features that you can certainly learn more about. NinjaTrader has a nice video library of how to do different things inside of their inside of their platform. But realize our software, the Nison Candle Scanner, is an indicator. It's a plugin. It has to plug into a platform like NinjaTrader. By far, NinjaTrader is the most popular of the platforms that we utilize because of a few things. One, it's a free platform. Two, there's multiple ways to connect multiple data feeds. We have students in India, Australia, Europe, South America, Canada, Asia, United States. We have people that trade stocks, ETFs, Forex, cryptocurrencies, you name it. You can get a data feed into NinjaTrader and no problems. So I can change timeframes. I can change to a daily chart, let's say, and notice I just switch over to a daily chart. I can switch over to, let's say I want to look at the SPY. I can look at the SPY. Now, obviously, right now we're doing the session, after the U.S. stock market is closed. So this won't be moving in real time. So I just am looking at a daily chart. Notice also, Steve mentioned before, we can have abbreviations. So right now I have the abbreviations on. If you're not sure what a minus CA is, for example, if I click on minus CA, down here in the bottom left of the screen, you'll see it pops up as a bear counterattack. So even if you use the abbreviations, if you're not sure, let's say I want to click on minus ES over here, down here in the bottom left, it'll show me that a minus ES is an evening star. Got a question, can NCS use on MT4 for commodities trade? So NCS is our full version of software called Nison Candle Scanner. NCS does not work on MT4. We do have a different version of our software called Nison Candle Highlighter, NCH, that does work on MT4. So MK, if you have a question about that, please shoot me an email. I can send you a link directly about the version that works on MT4. Different version, and it cannot scan the way NCS can. MT4 is just not as robust of a platform where it can't do the scanning that NCS can. So if you want the scanning, you would have to use it on a platform like NinjaTrader. But if you want to stick with MT4, we do have a version called Nison Candle Highlighter that does work on MT4. So getting back to the chart, if I want to go into indicators, I can add any of these available indicators onto my chart. Notice right now I just have the Nison Candle Scanner and I have Bollinger Bands. For each of the configured indicators, I can set up the properties. So I can turn any of these candle patterns from yes to no to strict, meaning if I only want to see strict criteria hammers, I can change that to strict. I can turn them all to no, I could turn them all to yes, I could turn them all to strict, or any combination of those. Okay? If I want to change it from the abbreviation to the full name, all I do is I uncheck the use the pattern abbreviation, I click apply and okay. And now notice I have the full name of the candle pattern on the screen instead of the abbreviation. Okay? And it really is just that simple. Now, getting back to the indicators, if I want to switch back to using the pattern abbreviations, I just check that box. I click apply and okay, and I'm back to my abbreviations. I can add, like I showed you, any other indicators that you could possibly imagine. This is just Bollinger Bands. I wanted to keep it nice and simple, but you can add moving averages, Fibonacci's, RSI, MACD, you name it, you can be added onto it. Notice also, let me pull up the NinjaTrader Control Center. Notice I have a green dot right here in the bottom left. I'll just move this up a little more so you can see this. A green dot, that means I am currently connected to data. And notice when I hover over that green dot, two things pop up. I currently have data from Forex.com and from TDAmeritrade.com. To get data, all you do is you click connections, you click on configure, and then here's a listing of all of the available direct data feeds. So if you have an account at Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade or Kinetic or Forex.com or Coinbase or Barchart, you can connect your data. We also have a continuum right here. So there are many companies around the globe that are part of the continuum that you can get data for. For example, we have a lot of students in India that are currently using a couple of different data providers in India. That means that the Indian market data feed is being fed directly into NinjaTrader, and they can get things like the Nifty. We have students doing the same thing all around the world for different markets. But this is the list of available direct, and then there's a lot of other third-party vendors that will provide market data into NinjaTrader. From the NinjaTrader Control Center, I can also open up a market analyzer. Steve was mentioning this before. Let me get the Control Center out of the way. This is a market analyzer. This will allow you to scan. Okay, this allows you to scan for whatever markets, for whatever criteria you want. Right here, I did a scan of the S&P 500 stocks today on a daily chart of what candle patterns happened. Okay, if I don't want to, this is currently in an alphabetical order. If I want just to get the candle patterns that actually happened today, I just sort up here. So it's now still sorted in alphabetical order, but only those that have candle patterns. I can sort by price. I can sort by any column that you want. And I can do this in either real time. I could do it on the bar close, meaning if I wanted to only get this to populate when the market closed, I can do so. Or what I like to do during the day is I actually have it showing me in real time if it is a specific candle pattern. So on price change is one of the items that you can do for the criteria. So for example, if I want to find a rising window, right when the stock market opens tomorrow morning, you'll see a lot of rising windows. But by 9:35 Eastern, by 9:45, by 10 a.m. Eastern time, a lot of those rising windows are no longer rising windows because they have now changed. So you can have it in real time. So you could say at 9:30, you might have 200 rising windows. But by 10 a.m., that 200 might be shrunk down to 20. So every day varies. You can identify what you're looking for using the market analyzer. Now, I just got a question about the columns of the market analyzer. Similar to indicators and everything else, I can go to columns. I'll just show you real quick, and I can add any column that I'm looking for, including indicator. So the indicator could be, I want Bollinger Bands, or I want moving averages, or I want Fibonacci's, or I want whatever. And I can scan for that as well. So I can have multiple columns. Another idea, real quick, I can have a fourth column and I can say, just give me strict criteria candle patterns. This is one of my favorites. This is what I use to find hammers. So I can do, this is the S&P 500, but again, I can create any watch list that I want. I can use a predefined watch list like the S&P 500 stocks, or I can create my own watch list, or I can create any other watch list. Got a couple questions. What is the best data source for Forex? Brandon, I personally use Forex.com. They are an easy data provider into NinjaTrader, so if you have an account with them, certainly could do that, but there are certainly other ones as well. MK, may I know what is the 3 lines on the chart? Please be a little bit more specific. There's a lot of different things going on the chart. If you're referring to these dotted black lines, these are Bollinger Bands. The middle yellowish line is just the median of the Bollinger Bands. Okay, I can easily remove that indicator. I can add on other indicators. I don't know if that was what you were asking, MK. Let me know if it is. Okay. Alerts. With the software, there's 2 different ways to set up an alert. One is on the chart itself. One is through the market analyzer. So if you want to be alerted to something that you're scanning for, you could set up an alert through the market analyzer. But if you want an alert on a chart item, whether it's you moved over a Bollinger Band or moving average crossed or a certain price point got hit, you can set up alerts for any of that. Okay? What I want to do now is show you the resources that you get when you purchase or if you own the Nison Candle Scanner. Okay, so when you purchase it, you would get an account inside of candlechartsacademy.com and you would log in and you would go into your library, and then listed in your library would be all the programs that you already own. That would be Nison Candle Scanner. So right here, this is brand new. We just did this video about a week ago, I believe. A new installation guide. It's a 12-minute video that will literally walk you through as if you've never used Ninja and you haven't used Nison Candle Scanner before. So it's going to walk you through. There's also written directions that follows pretty much along with what the video shows you. Just below that, you will see the links needed. So here's the link that you would actually use to download NinjaTrader 8. After you download it, and again, see here in red, we encourage you to watch the video first. Please watch that video and then come down here for the links needed for install. We get a lot of people that just try to go right into the links and didn't realize the nuances that the video will show you. So you download Ninja, then you're going to download either NCS Pro or NCS Pro SE. Notice right here on item number 2, it will show you the difference between Pro and Pro SE, meaning if you own the 4-volume mega package, you would be upgraded to the Pro SE. If you do not own the mega package, you would be the NCS Pro. Right underneath that, you would have your license key. Please note, this is not a real license key. This is just in a fake account under the name of Gordon Gecko that we use for information purposes. Then we have a best practice video. And note, please scroll down. A lot of people just don't scroll down to see all of this information. After you have everything installed, we encourage you to watch this hour-long best practice video. And then below here, we have a bunch of videos, an hour video from me on my bouncing ball, other strategies like the blast-off trade, the power windows. We have a 15-minute video teaching you what strict criteria is really all about. If you're new to charts, an hour-long video utilizing charts. We have an 18-minute video on an overview of the candle patterns. If you do use a Mac, we have separate instructions for you on how to follow Mac install, and then the quick reference. So if you're using the abbreviations, this is going to be a quick cheat sheet for what the abbreviations are. Those are the resources that you get inside of CandleCharks Academy to be able to do the install. And let me just show you now on the page, and I'm going to put the link in. I'm going to type the link in right now. So we had a couple of people asking for it. Real simple, candlecharts.com/NCS. When you go to that link, this is the page that you're going to get. We offer Candle Scanner in 3 different subscriptions. It's the same software, just how you want to pay for it. We offer a monthly plan, which would be a recurring monthly every month, $249 per month. We have an annual plan at $997 per year. So at the end of the year, you would be automatically rebilled $997, or we have a lifetime at $1295. Now, please note the special offer for the next couple of days is saving $150 on the lifetime ownership. So all you would do is you come here into the lifetime, you click Get Started Now. It's going to ask you for your information. You put in code April right there, and that will bring the price from $12.95 down by $150, which would mean that for the next few days, you can own lifetime Nison Candle Scanner for $11.45. Okay. Now, if you go down on the page, again, scrolling down, it'll show you all the other information that we talked about. A couple of great testimonials, a couple of FAQs, and it goes into detail as to what you're going to get. Now, what's not listed on this page is that extra bonus session that I will be doing next week that we're calling the Idea Session. It's specifically for people who own Nison Candle Scanner. Where we're going to be going over a couple of different trade setups and trade strategies, showing you a couple of ideas of how to scan for them, how to set up alerts so that you can use the software to its fullest potential and get everything out of that. If you already own Nison Candle Scanner, no worries. You will be invited to that session. If you're just purchasing it now, we're specifically doing that idea session next week so that you would have enough time between now and then to actually do the install, actually play around with it for a few days, get a couple of ideas, and then still be able to come to that idea session. So the link is candlecharts.com/NCS. Remember, if you want to go for the lifetime ownership, you would type in April. If you go for the monthly plan, what we actually allow you to do, we get people ask all the time if they can try it. Sure. So if you go with the monthly plan, what we're going to allow you to do, sign up for the monthly. If you like it, you have your options of either A, continuing on the monthly plan at the $249 per month rate, or we'll actually allow you to upgrade to lifetime, and we'll apply that $249 that you paid for month number 1 towards the lifetime price. Okay? So it's basically being able to try it for a month. If you don't like it, you can cancel and you wouldn't be billed again as long as you cancel prior to your next billing date. Same concept with the annual plan. You can go with the annual plan, and if you cancel at any point, you would be able to continue using it for the duration of the first year, but you just would not be billed again. At this point, between the information that Steve gave you and my quick overview of what Candle Scanner does, I will open it up for any questions that you might have at this point. But I do see a couple people have just ordered. I want to congratulate you. After ordering, what happens is our team will process and generate the license key for you. That will then be added into your account at CandleCharks Academy. And then you'll get an email saying, hey, your account's now updated with your license key and you're good to go. And again, we recommend that you follow the video for install. And then you watch that best practice video, play around with it, and then you attend that idea session next week. So if you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to take those and answer those for you. I'm just reading a couple questions that just came in. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, Brandon, yeah, the data feed will certainly allow you to do that. Folks, note with the data feed, NinjaTrader does provide you with free end of day data from Kinetic data feed that comes automatically. I would encourage you, though, if you're purchasing our software, that you get real-time data feed because even if you're not a day trader, it is fantastic to be able to utilize intraday charts, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1-minute charts. Um, Even if you're not looking to day trade, it is still great to get those insights and even be able to set up scans on an intraday so that you can be doing whatever it is that you want um, and continue. Yeah, Brendan, it does work on the 1-minute chart. So as long as you have a real-time data feed, absolutely the intraday market data is what you want. One of my favorite stories that I heard from one of our students is from an actual surgeon. He's a doctor, and he has the alert set up to send an alert to his phone, which goes to his secretary. And during surgeries, as needed, the secretary will call into him, say, hey, you got a bullish engulfing on Apple, or hey, so-and-so price just popped up on whatever. Now, that's fantastic for the surgeon. I don't know if I'd want to be the patient on the table if the wrong alert came through. But we have people that use the alerts and the scanning functions so that they can do anything and everything that they want without having to stare at their screen during the day. Okay. Or even if they happen to go eat lunch and they want to hear an alert, I do that often. I have an alert set up and I will hear a noise on my screen that certain things popped up, and you could pick multiple different sounds if that's what you want. You can have a text alert, you can have an email alert, you can even have it go to your Twitter account if you want to. But I have different sounds. So I'll have one sound for bullish, I'll have one sound for bearish, just different little ideas. But you could be on the golf course, or you could be at the beach, or you could be commuting, or you could be driving, or you could be doing anything it is that you want to be doing and get an alert. And then, what you do with that alert will be up to you. But I think it's kind of a really neat feature that the software is that powerful that you can set things up ahead of time with information like what we're going to provide in that idea session and the best practice video. And you can really take advantage of any market, any time frame, and apply your candle knowledge on the software that Steve Nison created. I don't think it gets any better than that. So any other questions at this point, I will take those. If not, if you have a question, you're watching this via recording, shoot me an email, paul@candlecharts.com. I do encourage you to go to candlecharts.com/NCS to take full advantage of this special offer. And doing so in the next couple of days will also allow you to take that $150 off the lifetime. But you could also start with the monthly, the annual, or the lifetime and still be invited to that idea session next week. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.